Hey everyone, welcome to the first photography prompt video from Ram's Creative Corner. I'm your host, you can call me Ram, and we're gonna go over some cool photos today. If you're wondering what's going on, I made a photography prompt challenge in my art server, which is called Ram's Creative Corner. You are free to join if you're an artist or if you're interested in art or learning more. The photography prompt, it's a shared mission in which all participants go out into the world and take a photo that represents the prompt. This has to be done within 1 week of the prompt starting. For this example, these were the entries for the word depth. It could be a cat, it could be a corridor which you are looking down on, or it could be this cool composition of this camera and that bridge in the background. Basically, all we're doing in this photography prompt is making a photo that represents the word in a creative way. The prompt that we had for the first time here is shine, and we're gonna go over the submissions now. I'm also gonna be giving feedback as a photographer because I am a photographer, I've been doing this for a while, and I know what I'm talking about. Obviously, I still have some things to learn, but I can give you some general feedback that could maybe improve your photography anytime you enter this sort of prompt, you know? That's why I'm hoping we involve more people in this so that it gets more exciting for everyone. So, the first photo. Looking at the word shine here, I'm definitely seeing a shine in the car reflection, but as for composition, it's not the most interesting picture that I've seen, I'm not gonna lie. It seems like you haven't really chosen a subject other than the little mat there, which also shines. If I could give you some tips, I'll explain to you what you could be doing to improve your photo, even if you think there's nothing to be really improved about it. So we have the photo here in Photoshop. There's a concept in photography and it's called the rule of thirds. What this rule means exactly is wherever the lines meet up, that's the best spot to put something interesting, right? To put your subject or something to look at. Because your eyes naturally gravitate towards these points, and these points need to have something interesting, otherwise the photo isn't going to turn out as well. Now luckily you do have the mat in the first crossing here, which is awesome. That does take the attention to the mat, but then the other side of that is not really filled with anything other than the car window. So what I've done here is realigned the rule of thirds basically. The aspect ratio of the photo is a bit different now, but as you can see, I've put this point of interest right here on the mat where it already was. We've trimmed away all the things that don't really matter in this photo, right? If I press enter, this is now the new frame, and it makes for a more interesting photo because you don't have to focus on what's going on in the sides. I wouldn't exactly call this like a good photo. It's not really particularly interesting or like thought-provoking, but it's not bad either. Thank you for your entry, and the shine is there, so thumbs up. Then the second picture from Exotic here. Looks like it's some sort of panorama. I think you've done a very nice job with the colors, especially the exposure as well. It seems to me like this. You see those people in the middle there? That's even more interesting. You happen to have these two people right there. I really wonder how you took this. It must have been a drone. I took this photo early in the morning just now with my drone. I pretty much broke a law getting this photo since the area was pretty close to an airport. I love it, dude. This photo is so super dope. You've done an excellent job with the exposure and the composition, and this could be a canvas on someone's wall. Oh, yeah, and it represents shine. Hell yeah. Next up, we have a photo from Wadoid here, with a picture of these beautiful clouds. I really like this composition. It's well distributed. You can clearly see the clouds and the sky. You know, there's two parts of this photo. And it's satisfying how much this fills the bottom. I don't really have much feedback. This is a really interesting picture. If I had to alter this photo, I would probably line up the points of interest just a bit better. And then maybe get rid of that extra blank space down there. Actually, yeah, with a bit of photoshopping, and I'm not saying you have to Photoshop your photos. It's just to teach you guys what you could be doing to improve your composition and see in action how these little changes mean so much. All in all, I think you made a great picture, and you also get a thumbs up from me. Awesome work. All right, next up from Modraws. This very interesting picture. I don't exactly know what's going on here. Maybe some sort of underwater scene. I would have to deduct some points for the oversaturation. The pixels, basically. I can taste them. I can taste the sensor being fried. I don't really see the story behind this picture because I can't really make out what's going on. Pictures have a lot more story than you would think they have. You know, story doesn't mean from point A to point B and stuff happens in between. That's a chronological like story, like Disney. But story in photography means that you place yourself in this picture, basically, and you sort of fill in the blanks of what's around the picture, how the picture got taken. Even the picture of the car, this tells a story, right? I can fill in the blanks. The door has been opened. The mat is out. It's sunny outside, they're in some field, there's some infrastructure going on in the back, so it must be in some sort of city. Like, those sort of elements is kind of what I'm missing in this picture here. Is that a UV light? It's a BenQ projector. Oh, well, Mo, you still get a thumbs up from me because you participated and you did your best. I hope to see even cooler work from you next time. Let's have a look. The first thing that I'm seeing immediately is that the horizon of this picture is crooked, and in my opinion, that needs to be fixed. You took this photo through a window. Those photos tend not to line up perfectly with the horizon. Other than that, the composition is pretty interesting, but it feels like it's just a bit too much to the left, if you know what I'm saying. You have this fence here, and then this path opens up. But I wish that either this path wasn't visible at all, and I could just focus on these little bike thingies here, or you would have more space on the left so I could see where the other end of that path is. What could you be doing to make this picture more interesting? I like how you captured the sun, so let's definitely keep that in. First of all, let's align it to the horizon. So it's just a bit more tilted. And then we'll put the focus on the sun there. And without cropping in too much, if I just cut away this open path here, maybe rotate it some more. Make it line up. Right, so this is the picture with my small adjustments made. And remember, this is just cropping and rotating, right? I didn't do anything with the colors. And in my opinion, it's a much more interesting, more gripping photo. You've taken away the elements of your photo that don't really add to your story. And immediately, it's much more easy to focus on what's important. I would put this on a postcard, and for that, you get a thumbs up. It's oddly pleasing to look at. I can't even make out what this object is, but you did very good on the framing. Very good composition. I love your depth of field that you have going there. It almost looks like you've taken it in reverse or something. Like, is this on the floor? Oh, I think it's like a ceiling light even. Dude, you did an excellent job on this, and I love the colors. I love the vibe. It's so coherent, and you are clearly focusing on this object and this object only, and it's dark environment, and it makes for a really pleasing image. Oh, my boy! My boy did perfect framing! That's clearly someone who's watched the other photography prompt videos that I used to do on Jigsaw XP. Link is down below if you're interested. Thumbs up for you as well. I love these classical car pictures, dog. It's like such a cheat code. You can just do the coolest things with these cars. They just exist and you get to make cool pictures. I think you did a great job. The colors pop out nicely. The focus points really line up well. If I look at it just like this, the brake light and the window here, they both have this hint of red, and that makes for a really nice combination. Oh, there you go. I knew it. Your points of interest are exactly aligned with the things that I just said, and that makes me happy because that means I'm also good at observing this stuff, you know? Makes me happy as well. I love this photo, and I think you did a great job. Big thumbs up. Next up, Dave, Rainindex, with two very different entries. And if I had to pick one of them to represent the word shine, it would definitely be the second one. I think you did really well with the elements in this photo. It's simplistic, and it gets straight to the point. You've actually helped your photo tell a story on its own because you chose to include that little pot down there. If it was just the plants and the shine, this photo could have a very different meaning. But right now I'm getting the feeling of like life. It's like existing out of this little pot, and it meets the sun and its beautiful shine. Other than that, awesome picture, dude. Like, this is wallpaper material, and I think you can see why. I don't have much feedback on it, and it's awesome. Keep it up. Next up, we have Kiwi here with this pair of pictures of this same leaf, apparently. I like that a lot. Wow, you've really gone close. My preference definitely goes to the second picture that you've submitted, purely because it makes for a more pleasing picture with the depth of field that you have here, and it explains that we're looking close up at a leaf, right? The depth of field really conveys that, especially with the other plant in the back there. It makes me feel like I'm in a field of grass and I'm looking at this one leaf, right? Whereas this one is more like a close-up, like scientific sort of look at the exact formations of these little patterns here. They both have very different vibes. You could almost interpret this one as like a dark, sort of sad photo maybe, especially because this is completely blanked out here. And on this one, it's more of like a life finds a way type picture, if you know what I mean. You've done an excellent job, and I really love these photos, so keep it up. Another thumbs up. Shot and edited on the S23 Ultra. You've done an excellent job in the composition of this photo, because you separated your elements, right? You have a foreground, middle ground, basically your subject, and then the background. Personal opinion, is that you didn't need to do these vignettes up here. What's a vignette? So if you've used Instagram, you already know what a vignette is, but you might not know that it's called a vignette, right? You might be taking a photo with a phone, and that phone sensor might not have like genuine vignetting going on because a lens isn't actually extruding out of the camera and forming this sort of darkness around the edges. So basically a vignette is something that adds this darkness back, you know? This is without a vignette and this is with a vignette. And in this picture that you've sent, I don't think the vignette really helps your case because it also darkens the sky, which I think is a waste. So this is what I would do with your photo in color correction terms. I would add this sort of vibrance on top of the photo, but the middle doesn't really change its color. It's just the sides get a little bit more saturation. There's no real use overthinking this kind of stuff because your photo is already pretty nice, but just for the future, you might consider this stuff while editing again on your phone. All in all, great picture, and thank you for contributing. And then we have one last photo, which is mine. I didn't even submit my entry here. I've been lacking. But I'll show you my entry right now, right here. What do you think? What could be improved about my photo? I'll leave it to you this time, you know? I'm always out here giving these comments and photography tips and stuff. Why doesn't someone else give me some tips? This was really fun to do again, and I'm looking forward to next time, guys. If you're interested in this sort of stuff where I give you some feedback on your photos, you should definitely participate. My server is free to join. The link is in the description. And yeah, let's see when we do the next photography prompt. Based on how many people found this interesting. Could be earlier, could be later. Okay, thank you so much for watching and subscribe.